Hey guys, what's up? Got Steve Manuel here with another little update for some videos from this month. So I'm going to continue on with this sort of like, it's kind of like a low bar series. So I mean, I've been doing low bar for about 8 weeks or so now, and it's just starting to really come in, it's really starting to feel pretty comfortable now. So I'm going to sort of like continue on with a few things that I'm finding is helping make the adjustment to the new technique. So I think the first thing really is like, I think, you know, the more you do something, the better you're going to get at it. So it's definitely a case of just being persevering with it, doing it for long enough now that I actually am getting a lot better at it now. And you saw that if you've been following my YouTube channel, you've seen that the best I've done with it so far is 260 kilos for 5 reps, which is actually an all-time PB with that weight. I've done 4 reps high bar, and I did 5 reps low bar. And I reckon I probably got another rep or 2 in there as well, but you know, sometimes it's always better to just sort of hang back a little bit and then just try and sort of, so you don't exhaust yourself for the next session and everything. So yeah, so I'm really happy with the progress so far. The next thing that I'm actually going to talk about is the footwear. So when I first started off with the low bar technique, I thought it was very important to only change one thing at a time. With bearing in mind that I've got plenty of time to actually need to be really good at low bar. Like I really want to be looking at squatting upwards of 300 plus like next year in March for the Europeans and June for the Worlds, providing that I do well enough at nationals to actually qualify for those competitions. So I kept the same footwear, kept my do-ins, kept the same footwear and just worked on the low bar position so that it wasn't going to be a total shock to how my body was going to feel. So now I've had one session where I did this session in my socks because I forgot my flat shoes. So I'm going to get away from using my Olympic lifter shoes now, and I'm going to start using a flat sole. So we're going to discuss the difference between those two things. So basically what I've got the examples of them here. So I'm going to use my old battered Chuck Taylors now as opposed to these do-wins. So if you look closer here, just mind how battered they are. So you'll see there's a big difference in where the ball of the foot is to the heel. So that's about an inch of a raised heel. And these are very excessive in terms of having a raised heel. Now the benefits of using them on a high bar is having the bar so high up, you have to try and maintain as upright a trunk as possible on the way down. You don't really want to have this kind of forward lean. You've got to be trying to stay as nice and upright. So that's going to give you, if you don't have a lot of, if you struggle with ankle mobility, that's going to really sort of help you out with that. So when I used to play American football, rugby and everything when I was younger, and I've sprained my left ankle so many times, I find it hard pushing my knee past my toe without it hurting too much, without really badly hurting my ankle. Every now and again I go over on it as well, and I think that's a different story. So the extra inch on that raised heel gives me more range to be able to dorsiflex. So in fact, I might actually demonstrate that for you real quick here. So I'm just going to pop this shoe on, and I'm going to show you the difference between my ability to dorsiflex. So if I'm in there like this, and I push my knee over my toe, that's as far as I can get in this position here. So it's still getting over the toe, but it's not perfect. It's not like, there's a lot more range to be had there really. So now let's just pop this shoe on real quick. I'll not bother fastening it, I'll just strap it. So, there. So now in that same position, I can now get it so much further over my toe. So that helps loads when you're looking to try and squat high bar. I really thought it was going to be a tough sort of transition into using the flat soled Converse, and I'm going to have my first session today with them, but based off how it felt when I was doing it in my socks, I think it's going to be okay. So what happens when you go with a low bar? So like when you're squatting, the bar is always going to stay over your midfoot. That's how you stay balanced. That's how you don't either fall backwards or fall forwards into the rack, because the bar is positioned over your midfoot, so you've got that kind of equilibrium. So then your bar position is going to largely determine what happens to your back angle. So because on a high bar, you've got it up here, in order for the bar to stay over your midfoot, your torso has to remain very upright. But if you put the bar further down onto your shoulders, in order for the bar to stay over your midfoot, you get this natural forward lean. And it's not a bad thing. The bad thing is if you come down to the bottom and then the first part, your back angle changes so severely that it rounds your lumbar and your thoracic off, which is then going to send you forward. As long as you can maintain that sticking the chest out and nice tightness here and here, you're not really going to fall forward into the rack too much. So kind of what you've got there is, it's kind of, trying to think the best way to describe this for you guys. So basically, the raised heel is going to allow you to stay more upright, and it's actually going to, and you kind of want to be using that kind of footwear if your aim is to stay very upright. But because the aim on a low bar is to not stay upright and just be tight and stay smooth, it's kind of like counterproductive, for me anyway, it's counterproductive to have such a raised heel with a low bar technique. So what I was finding was, for some reps when I was getting fatigued, that the movement pattern was changing so much and it was actually sending me backwards and my hips were shooting up quite a bit, and then I had to try and gut it out. So now that I'm using the flat sole, that's not happening as much because I'm not trying to stay upright anymore, I'm just trying to stay tight. So I'm getting down towards the bottom and I'm coming up through that same angle. So hopefully we can get a few videos to actually demonstrate that. If I get some time, I'll do a few sets with both in this next session. So I'm going to go train now, and then after this, I'm going to go over the next thing on my progression to low bar, which has been trying to get over these elbow pains, and hopefully I'll have a fairly pain-free session here, and then I can actually describe to you the techniques I've been doing to actually help with that. So I'm kind of thinking now it's some shoulder flexibility, pec flexibility, but I'm also thinking it's actual directly to do with releasing some tight tissues in the biceps and triceps. So we're going to go over that in a bit of time, okay guys? Wish me luck on my session, I'll see you all later. So just to finish off the video talking about the low bar squats and how to prepare for them and trying to sort of get away with being able to do it fairly frequently without getting excessive elbow pain. So what I've been noticing while I've been doing these 3 times a week at the minute, and what I have been noticing is that every time I'm doing it, I'm sort of getting like 2 or 3 sets into my working sets, and then I'm in absolute agony, and like, you know, I'm finding it hard finishing off the sessions. I'm still finishing them off, but you know, like an example of one of the experiences I have had with this is roughly sort of, I think I did 6 sets of 6 with 205, something like that, on my first session into this new cycle. And then I had to deadlift after it, and I had to stretch out my forearms for 15 to 20 minutes before I could actually start doing deadlifts. And then, you know, just as I say, just being in absolute agony for like 3-4 minutes after sets and stuff like that. But I've been doing this one thing, and I would recommend you do this even if you're not doing low bars, because it's going to help you at some point along the way, especially with benching and things like that. All you need is a little bit of lube. So, you know, this is going to be good for excessive low bar squatting and excessive trumpet polishing. But basically, what we're looking at here is I've been finding that the tissues in this area here have been getting too tight there, and also I think this is the key to it, right in here. Okay, so if you think about it, when when I am in this position here, these muscles here are shortening. So you can see that they're shortening. Okay, these are lengthening. So we're not in that position when we're squatting, we're in this position. And with the high bar squat, I'm able to be like back here. So all that pressure isn't actually affecting here. But because I'm trying to tuck my elbows down and I'm in this position here, and these are all short, these are now short with a few hundred kilos worth of pressure on my back. So we're getting like an excessive build up here, and you're starting to get a lot of knotty tissue in there. So that's what we're going to try and basically try and break down with this. So all you're doing really is just massaging yourself to try and break all this down. So all you're going to do, just going to pop a little bit of this lube on, rub it all in there. Okay, rub it all in the area that you're going to try and work on. Then just like you knead and dough, like you're making bread, knead and dough, and we're just going to go down. Really, you want a little bit of pressure in it. Don't want to be too bad. What I probably do with this as well, it can be sore for a couple of days, especially when you're getting it in nice and deep like this. So I probably just say every other day, probably the day before you're going to squat, so you can really sort of like just release all the tissue and try and get it in every other day. And what I've been noticing now is I'm having a lot less issues. I'm still not pain free, but it's a hell of a lot better than what it was. And I just think persevering with that is going to really sort of like make a big difference. And I'll be able to be getting out, like smashing out sets of like 10 sets of whatever, and having very little elbow pain, and then going straight into deadlifts after. So I'll give you another update in like a month or so to see how we're getting on with this, and any stretches that I've came up with for releasing these forearm and the biceps, we'll go over there as well. But for now, there's quite a few bits there for you to get working on. So make sure you're stretching out pecs, shoulders, make pecs, shoulders, and also make sure you're getting these forearms nice and loose. Okay, that's enough for me for one more month. Got the British Championships in about 4 weeks' time. Really looking forward to that. Prep's going pretty well. The one thing I'm a little bit not confident on is going to be the bench press. Really, I'm just never confident with bench press. But I'm hoping to try and get like 205 up for that one there. So, you know, fingers crossed. We'll keep plugging away. But the squats are going good. Deadlift's going good. So, you know, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Right, guys, that's me for another month. Keep it real. See you later.